If you've never had a bucket full of these under your nose, man, you're missing out. I dropped one. It is like somebody opened a window from heaven and just the sweet scent of paradise is pouring into the room or into this world, which here is beautiful, but a lot of times it feels like this modern wasteland, this digital wasteland for sure, but spiritual, emotional wasteland where people just can't get food. I'm out here foraging for huckleberries. That's what those are. And I got some things I'm thinking about while I'm doing this, about how huckleberries, or foraging in general, is a heck of a lot like finding God in a wasteland or in the wilderness. So, let's get started. First lesson I want to say is that when you first come out to start foraging, you got to find the right fruit. You got to find the right bush to go pick from. You know, you can go try and pick huckleberries from a blackberry bush and you're going to be dissatisfied. That's not what you're looking for. You could also go and find a different bush. That one's huckleberries, but there's one over there with very similar leaves, and the berry looks like looks like two berries joined together, and they kind of look like a gummy bear. You don't want to eat those. They're gross, and they can make you sick. So, first lesson is something like this. You got to know true and false fruit. You got to know true and false truth as well, because there's a lot of things out there that sound good that are false. There's a lot of things out there that are absolutely true and they don't sound good. And there's a lot of things out there that are half-truths or partial truths. And I'll tell you what, if you go out in this world looking to be spiritually fed or emotionally fed, and you're eating lies, you're consuming those and digesting them, you're going to be disappointed. There's probably going to be some consequences. Hopefully, it's, you know, if you can stomach it for a while, it doesn't hurt you too bad. But there are a lot of them out there that can put you into a world of hurt. And nobody really wants that for you. So, hello, Mr. B. So, find the truth. That's the first thing. If you're going to be looking for God, find out what He's like. And that might mean looking at different religions and testing their claims. That might mean looking at just the idea of apologetics from a Christian perspective to understand what you already think you believe, so that you can really follow it. But do that work, discover what's true, and then push away what's false. Just don't swallow it. That's the first thing. This bee is really after me, because there's more berries over here, and I love it. All right, you tend to find what you're looking for, and you tend to find it in the last place you look. I didn't understand that as a kid. It's kind of funny now. But same thing goes true with spiritual truth. If you find it because you know what you're looking for, you tend to stop looking. We'll get back to that in a minute. Second truth here. Bending over and doing this for 2 hours is getting tiring. Second truth here is you got to find these berries in the right conditions. If you go looking for berries in December, you're going to find snow. If you go looking for mushrooms, morel mushrooms specifically, in August, you're not going to find any. If you go looking out in the grasslands, you're not going to find either one. You got to go to the right conditions. You got to go where they grow. Now, this is slightly different with God, because guess what? God can show up anywhere. Like, He doesn't need the right conditions. He makes the conditions. So He can show up anywhere. But what about me? What about you? That's what I've found, is that I need to be and put myself more into the right conditions in order to be able to be in a spot where I can actually hear and see God moving, rather than just thinking about Him, talking about Him, or philosophizing, or having my own thoughts that aren't really based in the truth. Even the dog knows where to find the good stuff. This is hilarious. She is going to town on this bush. Eating them right off the bush. So anyway, I got to be in the right conditions. And I find that, being out in the woods where it's quiet and I'm alone, I can't have internet access, I don't have all the distractions, that's right conditions for me a lot of the times. Taking a walk around my neighborhood without the distractions. Focusing on one person for a little while. That's the right conditions where I can actually see God moving in that person. And maybe they see me too. That's the second one. Third way is, a lot of people, when we started doing this, they love huckleberries just as much as we do. But they didn't want to come out here with us. They didn't want to do the work. They like the result, but they're not willing to put in the effort. And a lot of people even didn't understand, why? Why are these berries worth going down and squatting in the dirt for a couple hours to fill a bucket? I'll tell you what, to me and mine, there's a weird mushroom down there. To me and mine, it's worth it. Some little kids grow up thinking that all the food in the grocery store is kind of all the food that humans are fit to eat. And we have found, by coming out to these woods, that there are some foods that you literally just can't get in the grocery store that are superb. They are way better than the things you can get in the grocery store. You can get some good strawberries, you can get some good blackberries, but you can't get anything like huckleberries in the store. And so it's worth it to come out here. They're delicious, they're nutritious. You get benefits just from being out here by yourself for a while with the dog eating your berries that you're trying to pick. And that makes it worth it to me. So I think you gotta want it. You gotta find it in a way where you once you have found something good, you keep going back to that. I think about it like this, from a spiritual perspective, from an emotional and intellectual perspective too, psychological. We are living in a time where we have, if you've got access to a phone, I don't care whether you're rich or poor, if you've got access to a phone with some internet, it's like having the world's largest pantry full of junk food at your fingertips. Now, there might be some real food in there. There might be some places where you can go to the pantry and open the fridge and look around and occasionally find a little nugget that's actually nutritious and good for you. But a lot of times, you're going to go out there and you're going to find junk. You're going to find things that are sweet dopamine hits that satisfy you for a little while, but don't actually provide your body what it needs. You're going to find things that are, make you feel like you're satisfied, make you feel like you're happy. But eventually, you need more of it and more of it. And eventually, you just realize it's not working anymore. And that's the environment we're in, spiritually and emotionally and intellectually. And so you can just keep consuming and always feel empty because you're not finding real food. So, God is like having actual real food. It's worth it. You go looking for the true things, and when you find them, you keep returning back to them because it's better than anything else out there. It's better than all the junk food. Now, sure, you can go enjoy some of the junk food sometimes. That's okay. Entertainment's not a bad thing in moderation, obviously. But keep your main diet the real thing. The funny thing about that is, it's not even like God has a pantry. God made a garden. Look at this place. All of this is berries. All of this. God made this place where there is more than enough to share. And the crazy thing about spiritual food, I'm going to get close for this one. The crazy thing about spiritual food is when you find a morsel, you can chew it, you can digest it, and it will sustain you for a really long time. Sometimes you go back to that same morsel over and over again. But the really cool thing is you can take that morsel that you've already digested, give it to somebody else, and it can feed them too. And it doesn't diminish yours at all. God has made more than enough to share. That's my fourth thing. And when you compare the junk food to the real food, you compare how gracious God is, man, he has prepared a banquet for us. His pantry is enormous and never ending. And it really is more like a garden where it just keeps growing more food for us because it's his word. But it's not just his word. It's his word combined with his spirit to make it alive. That's why it's this garden that just keeps popping out fruit. That's why it's a never-ending pantry. It's the all-you-can-eat buffet forever of wisdom and glory and goodness and truth. And foraging's kind of like that. You come out here and you find your stuff. And it can sustain you. And it's worth it. All right. Fifth thing is you will keep going back. I think I said that earlier, but I'm going to make that my fifth thing. You will keep going back. You find something good and you will share it, and then you'll go back to it. You'll be like, you know what? I need some more of that. You'll find some wisdom in the Bible and you'll say, man, I need some more wisdom. I need different wisdom for a different situation. And you'll find it in there. If you can see me, I'm behind the bushes now. And as you do those 5 things, you learn the truth fruit. You learn what to look for. You learn about God as who he is, not how you want him to be. You put in the work to find him. You learn how to love what he's got. You get yourself in the right conditions. And man, you'll keep coming back. You share it with others and you'll keep coming back and you will be nourished. And that's when you know what to look for and you start seeing God pop through in not just in a sunrise or a sunset where almost all of us feel that call towards the transcendent, but it'll be more specific than that. It'll be something happens at home and God's got a specific lesson for you and how you can grow. Or something happens with your family and you know God just protected you from something rough. Happened to me on a mission trip. I'll share one quick story. Happened to me on a mission trip where we knew people were praying for us because all of the things that wanted to get in the way immediately got turned around. Had somebody on our itinerary who we discovered that the state had misspelled their name on their ID. And then the TSA agent figured out, they're a minor, so it's not a big deal. And they just went on through. That could have held us up for hours and missed our plane. Things like that. You just see God working. Sometimes it's just to see his hand, and sometimes it's to get fed from him, and sometimes it's to get a lesson, and sometimes it's here's how you need to repent and change. But I encourage you. You may not come out to the woods and forage, but go foraging for God. Because otherwise, this world is a wasteland. But with him, it's a garden. If that inspires you, I'd love to hear what God's doing in your life. I'd love to hear what steps you might need to take. Which of the 5 things inspire you to take a step forward? Which of the 5 things do you think you're on? Just finding the truth? Putting yourself in the right conditions? Which one's going to help? Anyway, that's all I got for this walk. God bless. I forgot to pray for you. Lord, show up for these people. You are good, and you are abundantly gracious, and you provide. You provide. So feed us with your word, feed us with your spirit. And anybody out there who's searching, Lord, show up. Amen. That's all I got now. God bless.